You know, when we're talking about eviction moratorium, we're talking about people staying in their house. But in the case of Nancy Pelosi, people really want her out of the house this week. She's like, I'm not leaving. I'm staying in touch, and I'm staying here, with my feet on the table. And everyone's like, Nance, can you maybe leave so we can get some work done? Go to San Francisco. I'll send you some lobster. I'll send you a pot. I'll send you some pot bills. Um, Mitch is like, I'll even send you some Broadway tickets. You and Chuck can go see some shows. Then there's me. It's like, if you really leave Washington, Nance, the Purple Power is hooking up some really good hairdressers back in San Francisco. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE with incredibly great news about second stimulus as the president comes out in favor of a bill introduced yesterday which calls for an incredible amount of rent assistance for the most needy and rent stabilizing programs and or eviction moratoriums to January 2021, valued at $25 billion. Yes, it's a great day. It's a great day, and I appreciate you for joining me on Afternoons LA8, part of our 2-hour programming block every day here at 3:30, starting with the check, then hazard pay, then FPUC, and then finally rent. Part of our 3.5-hour programming schedule here on LA8. It is an incredibly great day. If you're part of the Purple Power, you feel it because the tide is turning. Go to the front channel, subscribe, become a part of the Purple Power, and drop your comments below, and we may feature them tomorrow's recording. And also like this video so the video appears higher in the rankings. This is an insanely great day for second stimulus. It really is, and I hope you can feel it as well as I do, because Mark Meadows came out and said that the president is in favor and supports the problem solvers bill from yesterday. Item number 1. 2, the president supports the value of the problem solvers bill at $1.5 trillion. Okay, breathe. It's just like, are you serious? But I told you that was going to happen. More about that in a second. Next, the president is telling other GOP people in his party, get their butts together and support it right now. You don't need Botox because your face is just going to be stuck like mine was. Are you kidding me, LLA? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, this is the spirit of the Purple Power. This is the spirit of the Purple Power. I mean, here we go. Ready, set, let's get to it. The problem solver solved a lot of problems. And yesterday they introduced a bill which I told you was coming. I told you was coming. I told you about them back in July, that what they were doing and how they were doing it and the manner in which they were doing. They were going around town and meeting with the people who had been negotiating for your second stimulus package. Mnuchin, Meadows, attempted to meet Pelosi. They went to Meadows and had several meetings, and the meetings were productive. Meadows confirmed the meetings. They confirmed the meetings. They had several meetings and went on for a little while. They went to Nancy Pelosi's office. She refused to meet with them. In the same weekend, she refused to meet with Mark Meadows, called him whatever his name, refused to take Steve Mnuchin's phone call, said, don't call me unless this. After all her sort of idiotic self-proclaimed divine despot sort of statements, these problem solvers went back and got to work. And for 6 weeks, these bipartisan caucus group, that's half Republicans, half Democrats, it's sort of like the Purple Power, went back and drafted a very long second stimulus bill. I detailed on Monday that they had a draft of it, and I told you it was one of 3 bills that was coming. The second one is from the Blue Dog Democrats. It's a Democrat bill. That's why it's called Blue Dogs. And then the other one was coming from the New Age Democrats, because they're not putting out a trans album this week. So they're doing a second stimulus bill. And I said, get ready, because there's 3 bills coming. Well, I did not expect their bill, the problem solvers, to come within 24 hours. But boy, they had a press team like I've never seen a public relations team ever. I mean, you would think they were, you think they were doing Taylor Swift's world tour. They announced it and introduced the bill on Tuesday, and were literally on every single channel. I mean, they're basically everywhere but Talk to Phil. I mean, they were just on every single channel saying, here we are, and then they had a backdrop, and they had brochures, and everything was color, and everything was gorgeous. That was then. Well, Mark Meadows was asked today, how about the problem solvers, Bill? He said the president loves it. Of course the president loves it. Mark Meadows told the problem solvers back in July, when I told you he was meeting with them, what the president would support, to put in there what the president would support and do the amounts and do the items that the president would support. And they did. Problem solved. Next, I told you back in June? Yeah, I think it was almost May. But I told you back in June that this president, when stimulus packages were about to unfold for the second stimulus package, that he would support a bill about 1.5 to 2 trillion. And the reason why I told you that number was because there was reports at the time about that number. Second, that Mitch was purported to be coming in at 1, and of course we didn't see Mitch's bill for a month later. Pelosi was at 3. And the CARES Act 1, the first stimulus package bill, was a 2, and the report said the president did not want to go above CARES Act 1, but might go lower if people in his party forced him to go lower. So he's about 1.5 to 2. I continually reported that to you. Last Friday, Major Garrett from CBS asked Larry Kudlow during an interview, gossip reports, chatter that the president would go up to 1.5 trillion from 1.3 trillion offered about 2 weeks ago. Larry Kudlow said, I can't confirm or deny, aka yes. And I told you, there we are. Mark Meadows today says the president will support this bill, 1.5 trillion. Problem solved. Problem solvers knew that the president would go to 1.5 trillion, so they put it 1.5 trillion. That was then. Then came this. The president today said, tell the rest of the Republicans in my party to support this as well. Get their butts off the chair and come up, get off their stupid stuff of doing, high $500 million stimulus bills or $20,000 stimulus bills. Do a $1.5 trillion bill and let's get it done. And that I didn't predict. That is insane. And what's insane is that in this bill is rent. In this bill is eviction moratorium. In this bill is rent stabilization. In this bill is the relief that you wanted and that no Republican had ever put in a bill until today. Rent aid, rent money had never been in anything we had seen from a Republican for second stimulus since this ever started. There may have been offers from Steve Mnuchin about it, but it was not in Mitch's 2 bills. It was never a discussion of any tweets by the president. It was never anywhere in paper until today. Rental assistance for the most needy and other rent-stabilized programs and or eviction moratoriums through 2021 valued at $25 billion. Problem solvers clearly took a Democratic proposal, put it in there, and put the number to it. As we sit here and we talk about $25 billion, is it enough? I don't know. Why don't I know? Because whether it's Elizabeth Warren's rent bill or Pelosi's rent bill or Maxine Waters' rent bill or Harris's, the VP's nominee's rent bill, these people introduce bills and then they never really stay with the numbers. So we really don't know what number's enough. We don't know when we're talking about eligibility if it's enough, but at least it's money and a lot of it. $25 billion for just rent. How much is that? It's a lot. The first stimulus package, which has been the scandal of this channel since last Saturday, that world exclusive, provided $150 billion to state and local under CARES Act 1. $150 billion to every single state across the country for a lot of different things for every city and county. This is $25 billion. So this is just for rent, not for 25 other things. So this is a lot of money. This is insanely great news as we sit here today. As we talk about rent and eviction moratoriums and mortgage forbearance, the importance of rent aid has never seemed to really percolate with the president. We have seen an eviction moratorium. that came several weeks ago. It started with an executive order that didn't create an eviction moratorium. It was a mess. I called out the president for writing an executive order that was supposed to be an eviction moratorium, did not create an eviction moratorium, was supposed to create a mortgage forbearance, did not create a mortgage forbearance. And the weeks after that, the president started to clean it up. Clearly, someone in his group was seeing my tweets, your tweets, the Purple Powers tweets, and they came back and they had the Federal Housing Agency say any federally backed mortgage will not be foreclosed upon. So they fixed up their thing. It didn't fix up private mortgage forbearance, which is still a problem. And then CDC came out of absolutely nowhere and said, you know what, we're going to do an eviction moratorium based upon that executive order. Okay, who are you? Thank you, but I don't know what's going on. And so they did one. It does not protect commercial renters, but it provides protection for apartment renters and single-family house renters. If you go to the CDC order and you go through the steps, the descriptions, the applications is in the description of this video. That was insanely great and done, but we still didn't have relief from the president for rent aid. And so with no relief about rent aid, the question was, okay, what are we going to do? And you saw me in the videos, since last end of last week to early this week, which I said, we're hoping and we're pushing and we're nudging for executive orders for second stimulus and for unemployment benefits, but I don't see it happening for rent. I don't see an executive order for rent. I just don't see it happening. I had told you another path for the rent was staying local. More about that in a second. But then came this. Finally, a bill that gives you rent assistance that the president supports and is urging his entire Republican Party to support it as well. This is insanely great news, because with an eviction moratorium, eventually you're going to get evicted if you don't have the rent at the end of the eviction moratorium period. The current eviction moratorium ends in January. This rental assistance program starts right now, that provides you assistance for rent right now, so that when the period is about to lift for the moratorium, you have rent so that you're not evicted. Amen. It finally makes sense. Now, on a local situation, there's something else to be aware of, and that was what those World Exclusive has been detailing over the last couple of days. It's so important to follow this because I know it's a little bit complicated, but let me explain to you in simple terms. Cities and counties have hundreds of millions of dollars for you, which they're going to spend on a lot of things right starting now over the next few weeks, and one of them will be for rent. You need to be looking all the time for news articles about your city and county announcing rent grant programs. I can't do it. I can't tell you what every city and county is doing across the country. There's no singular website to go to apply or look. I'm getting that comment a lot. Can I go to my state to see all the programs I apply for? They're not doing it that way. They don't care. They absolutely don't care. They're a hot mess express. They're literally just doing one thing over here and nothing over there and nothing over here. And then they're meeting with one local news reporter for 5 minutes and having one news story. And that's it. If you don't catch the news story, you don't read the news article, you don't know it exists. Literally. And I'm not exaggerating. It's literally like that. And that's what's happening. So you absolutely have to have eyes and ears open. And you can't just look for today. It may launch a week from today. It may launch 5 days from today. It may launch 15 days from today. It's happening everywhere. Let me explain why. CARES Act 1 gave $150 billion to state and local for money for things like rent. They haven't used the money. So it's a use or lose program. The money's about to expire. So what do they have to do? They have to spend the money. And when do they have to spend the money? Now. It's just coming up. The expiration date on the money is, the lose part of the money is about a few days, a few weeks away. They have to spend the money. So they're literally scrambling to spend hundreds of millions of dollars everywhere. Yes, literally. It's just, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to get this done. So what they're doing is just spending money and sending out money to you. Now, there are some cities and counties that are just a hot mess express. They're not spending the money. They're holding it, gorging it, not spending on you at all. They're out there, those states. But the ones that are spending it are the ones that you need to focus on. So keep your eyes and ears open and focus on them as well. Boy, this is a day that this is a day in which a lot of things are going on. personal message as I end Afternoons LA with this video. Um, when the Problem Solvers Bill was introduced yesterday, some longtime viewers of this channel who certainly understands the focus of the purple power but may have been confused started dropping comments like, yeah, but who cares about the purple power? Nancy rejected it. Who cares about the who cares about the problem solvers bill? The Nancy rejected it. Who cares what the problem solvers are doing? Nancy rejected this and Nancy rejected that. You really got to focus. You absolutely have to focus, because this is not a country of a monarch. This is not a monarchy. One person doesn't define your destiny. One person does not define your legislation. And so people that simply are focused on what one person tells you is the end all and be all, they need to refocus. Remember, the focus of the purple power is that you can get things done. You have the power. The power comes from education. The power comes from understanding how things pass, how things are written, what's going on. The antithesis of purple power is someone telling you they're going to do it their way. They're not going to tell you what's involved. They're not going to tell you the scenario or the numbers. They can keep everything a secret from you and just listen to what they want to tell you and just bow down to them every time that they say something. As you see, that's not what the purple power is about. So I really appreciate your time and effort. I love that we've all become an incredible family. People that are Republicans are caucusing with the purple power. People that are Democrats are caucusing with the purple power. This is a nonpartisan channel, but it is, in a way, a caucus of people who have a common belief, which is get stimulus, get it out now. Don't be cheap with the stimulus. Get it to people's hands. Don't let them go homeless. Don't let them become hungry. Get the money. Don't hold out for $10 more when you could get the money 5 months ago. Get in their hands right away and stop playing games. If there was a time to like and subscribe, it would be right now. Go to the Friends channel, subscribe to this channel, and drop your comments below. 250,000 subscribers in 4 months is a reason why we're part of a great family. Also, like this video. It helps with the algorithm. Coming up next is Evenings at LALATE. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and save LA for more.